have a phenomenal last play day. You know, if they can get Noah on
last week, and it does feel like a bit of a fall from grace, and that it may well be a scrap to even. You see the players being focused on now is that spokesman towards the bottom side door, but here comes Flexi starting his march on forward. Sure enough, gets away with the kill as the C4 just goes off from Leaky back in time. Gets rid of Mowgli, but like that, there's a couple of kills back and forth down to a 3 versus 3. A couple of smokes and a C4 still to work with. Keep an eye on users though, the shotgun at the ready and the C4 available if required. But for everybody else, looking at this one is slowly starting to fall to tatters now. B-Drills, the rookie with it all to try and figure out by himself, looks for one, can't quite find his man, gets swung on by Breede, and Falcons take round 1.
Yeah, nice double. Falcons the opportunity to get back into it, so we are going to see more of the same. In comes the Blackbeard. Nade is going to force Leaky to move, and Noah is there, ready with the cross to pick him up. 5 versus 4 as an entry goes to Team Secret, and very quickly as well.
Throwing grenade.
Absolutely. It's a good way to get things moving. You convert it into a second like they've just done now onto Solotov, who step will probably be the entry for them. That's your 2 sort of X-Factor players taken offline. Tune gets one more, but look at that. There he is, brother in arms, ready and waiting. I bet that one.
Trip connectors still present. Nitro goes up and over. Not. Ooh, it is going to find its mark. Breede manages to take down Noah. Finds himself facing a Blackbeard down though, and he's in danger here, but manages to get a double. Breede has gone huge in the first 2 rounds. 6 and 0. He just won't die.
It's a punishing spot to be in. There's a new entrant into a big game like this against Falcons as well that he knows will no doubt mean quite a lot towards Noah. A flash comes through, a swing off towards his right, and Yuzus takes that second step across, shuts him down. 2-0 in the scrap early on. He's got a C4 available. You need to know where he is, and they've let him slip the net a little bit here. Free place to the ready, and it's a freebie. Oscar. He'll be fuming to a level because he's had the IQ on side to scan out if any pre-plays are there. Mowgli with the tracks to make sure Solotov is forced back, but you give him a few meters to step out into the open, and a free C4 comes in. That's going to be heartbreaking for the boys, especially given they've just had a tax timeout as well. It's a 5v2. Falcons in full control here in round 3. Maybe fair to say, Tim, that timeout benefited them even more than it did Secret.
Yeah, there certainly seems to be the case. Noah manages to find Leaky, but June with the second in the round. Noah is there for the trade. A 1v4, now a 1v3 is looking increasingly difficult. Solotov uses Breede all on full health. Uses with a Nitro in hand. Noah has got it stacked against him, but he does, or did, have time on.
Figure things out, even with the experience of Noah and Mowgli. As I mentioned last week, Oscar
will give a little bit of freedom for Flexi. Once he gets beyond Visa, he could possibly start with the tracks and trying a little bit of vertical from the Deimos, but he's not really advancing particularly at the minute. Users manages to find more, and you see what I mean? The round becomes too late for him to then do that, because he now needs to go to support the rest of the team, because they've lost 2 of them. Leaky get in the latest. Users with another 2 Nitros. Like, Falcons are just using their utility so well, and I don't want to get carried away. We're only 3 rounds in. Gridlock is probably just superior there. Here comes the drop. Oscar on the blitz is going to go into the fire, takes a tickle of damage from the Falcon canister. He's going to have to wait for it to clear, and whilst waiting, Users manages to pick up Noah. Mowgli there for a trade. Users is going crazy at the minute. Finds a second, is traded out, and again, Falcons playing the trade game really well. They always seem to come out.
One that Mowgli just wasn't quite ready to deal with. Unfortunately, I think it may well find it cost them this round as well. A 3v2, making a 3 versus 1. As Solotov has then appeared off towards the right-hand side. B-Drills really is getting a rude awakening and a welcome into Consulate here from Falcons as they put another on the board.
There's a blue there, I'll take that out. So they know now that Visa is clear. They're going to send in through there. Oscar jumps in through the window as well. 2 inside. Nitro takedown from Breede again. Second in the game, at least on the Nitro. And again, that trend for Falcons using this utility brilliantly. It continues. However, Breede does get caught out as he gets chased away by Oscar on the blitz. And look how aggressive he's getting here. Going straight into sight. No messing about. Can Falcons stand up? Of course they can. Juming Users 1 apiece. It is not looking pretty for Secret right now, but they fight their way back in. Des. A 4v2 becomes a 2v2. Falcons are not going to want to give this away. Leaky manages to get the shield, and it's all up to him to close out the round. Just out of sight, V-Drills.
See your shadow, bro. You know, Leaky knows where you are. Gotta be really careful here. Pops out the fire, which burns him through it. Oh!
Beautiful.
That which is in between fire and grenade.
To take at this level, you are making it so much harder for yourselves. Yes, you got 1 round because Drills.
I think there were positive signs. There was a 5v3 for Secret. There was a 4v.
Could just do with a little bit more pressure here, Falcons, to get him moving. And then they should be able to find a kill, but Noah, he manages to take down Users. That is a big pickup. Users has been going fantastically well so far. Leakafat gets the draw. The second is beautiful. A reaction shot as he strafes across, takes Mowgli's head off, and leaves Falcons with a 4 versus 3 advantage. Make it 4 versus 2. Leakafat's going big.
Easy's one in the book there as well, just waiting, knowing that he wouldn't be seen before he had the chance to get some free shots off. That's 3 removed by 1 man. The IGL stepping in big. Playing off the back of his team as Solotov comes across for another. Yet again, it is Vidril's left all alone. And he's like, guys, I'm still covering hallway. Guys? And no one is left. Brady there to collect
With his presence, he's going to get a freebie, I guarantee it. Somebody's going to run around this corner, he's going to get a freebie.
Right, how has this happened then? How has this happened? No, at least find 1. Now the move starts. Leaking back in nice and close. They don't seem to still know, but well, the picks got towards the side. He might get rid of 1. That really should have been a kill. But Oscar up close and personal. Should have been a freebie every day of the week, but another one flows through for Leakyfack, another into Solotov as well. That brings it to a 4v3. And just when it looked like it might start out going well for the side of Secret, well, the jaws start snapping shut around them. Flexi left in a 1v3, has to retake top floor. No idea this one off towards his left, and surely that's a nice shot. Fair play. I thought June was going to close it there and then. Flexi with a good chance here to maybe save this one. Sees the man down below. A couple of shots coming on through as a angle, or they will get this diffuser down, and that will force Flexi into action.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good vertical angles here to work with this Flexi, and he made it very difficult for them to put the diffuser down. I think he knows he's found both kills. He's going to head down there to disable it, and what a clutch coming out of Flexi.
And I mean, a max on for good measure.
It's still 6-2.
Yeah.
It's still 6-2.
We'll give him his flower.
I mean, no intel is still intel. You know, the fact that there's nobody being picked up there still tells him that maybe there's nobody on the windows, that there's somebody on that window, of course. Solotov manages to find Oscar. Mowgli onto Users, 4 versus 4. Still a lot of pressure going to mount up from Yellow Stairs, though, as Leakafax starts pushing forward, takes down Noah. They now need to stop them taking too much ground here. Now's the time to fight, and Drills tries to work his way back up, but look how much stuff he's got to work through. They know that he's coming at this point. Nate comes down, he's limping because of the cracked finger. It's over.
You think they know he's coming, Tim? After how many of those he had to shoot out? It has never been more over, unfortunately, Tim, for the side of Secret. Not going to be able to get...
Smooth sailing for Falcons as they pick up an easy 3 points, and that means we get to speak to the winners. We have a winner interview with Joom lined up. Joom, good evening. Congratulations on your 3 points. You beat your former teammates, you beat your former coach. Is it a good feeling, or does it hurt somewhere a little bit?
I think at this point it just feels good. I think it just feels good, I think.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this roster that you used to play for, what's your take on their current level and what they're showing? Because so far, it looks like it's really hurt them to lose you, then Adrian, then Savage, and they look like they're trying to recover, and it's just not happening so far.
I think it's really hard, after losing such many good players, and having that synergy, going from that to, having to rebuild fully is very hard. I think they can do it though, because I knew what players they have, what staff they have. Building from the bottom is what they do, and I think they can still have a few games to go to bring it back.
And about this new iteration, I'm wondering, what's your take on the 3 new players, especially, because initially Nave and Citizen made sense with the experience and all, and I think many people were surprised to see that many changes so quick after kickoff. But it's young players that are hungry. It's, Oscar, Vidrils, Flexi. What's your take on these new guys?
I think I definitely like them bringing in new players. I think it's always good, but in Siege, it's there's such a big gap from tier 1 and tier 2 that it just needs time to adapt and getting used to the difference.
Joom, just moving through to your team now. Do you feel that was quite a complete performance today? Because I think, some of the players who maybe haven't been in the limelight for your team, so the 2 players I'm thinking of, Brede and Solotov today, were especially, they were really good today. Oh
my god, Brede was cooking. I don't know what he was doing, but he was just crazy. I actually loved it. He was just saying live game. For me, it's just default at this point. I don't know.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go.
What was the game plan that you guys were focusing on today?
After last week, it was mainly, we knew we were starting on the attacks, so in scrims we have just been focusing on attacks and working on those, so that was mainly it.
All right, awesome. And then speaking of tomorrow, it's a big game. You're playing against G2. How are your thoughts going into that one?
Oh, it's going to be a fun one for sure. You know, we haven't played them yet, so it's going to be a good match. I think they have been struggling a bit more than us, though. So I think we'll just see tomorrow how it goes.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair assessment to make. Well, Joom, thank you for your time, and best of luck against G2 tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a good night.
It feels good to see some of that back. It's just not clicking well together. And for a world-class team like Falcons, there is just such a big gap.
I mean, obviously nobody's going to be negative on this roster, you know, with the way that the game went. But I was so happy to see Brede at the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, and Solotov doing well.
And Solotov doing well as well. I think, you know, Solotov had a rough start on the front line. Brede naturally is not going to get into a lot of gunfights with how this team plays. He's either going to be left in a 4v1 putting the defuse down, or he's going to be left in a 1 versus 4, and ultimately